I don't know what I'm interested in. I can't think of a specific topic that interests me, and I'm sitting here on Google with my little cursor. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just search for news. I might scroll through here for some ideas and click on something and see what's going on there. Okay, now I can just see if there's any articles that interest me. No matter what I click on, there needs to be something that's got an opposing view. So it needs to be something that's a little bit controversial. It can be anything that catches my interest as long as it's one person's point of view, and I'm either going to agree with that point of view or disagree. This article looks like it might have an interesting perspective. Let's take a look. First things first, before I even look any further, I copy the URL, go over to EasyBib, I create a citation list for the single source essay. I click on that once it's open, and I paste that URL in, let it search, continue to cite, make sure that that author's name is there. Now you can see this is just way too long, so I'm going to need to fix this title. The rest of it all looks good. There's the URL for the reader. But now I'm going to fix this title. I'll be right back. I've capitalized all the words, made it shortened the title a little bit. Again, no problem, because the reader can go right here and find that complete article. Now I click complete the citation, and my first citation is all finished. Now I'm ready to go back and read the article. Okay, so I'm going to read through the article and see where I can find more information about this situation that's going on. I want to make sure that I click on other articles that will help me understand this particular situation. I'm not in France. I don't know what this is about, but I'm interested. So I'm going to click over here to another article. So when I clicked on that link, it took me to a page that wanted me to pay for it. So instead, I went back to Google and I typed in this topic, and it brought me to a free article. And what do I do first? That's right, first I copy this, go over to EasyBib, create a new citation in my project. Once again, we've got this long, drawn-out title, and I don't need that. And I'm not worried about this because the reader can go right down here to the URL and see the full article. My citation lets them know the article and then the author and so forth. Complete the citation. Now that's also added to my list. Now I can go back and read the article. I'm going to study this along with my original article. Remember back over here where we went and we bypassed this paid article and we went to the other one. And I'm going to read what this is. And after I've collected my information and gotten any more information that I might need, I'm ready to create my outline. Let's do that together. This is my very skeleton outline. First, I'm going to select this. I'm going to go over here to select all, and I'm going to change this to Times New Roman 12 font. Now I have my introduction. I need in the second paragraph to tell the reader what I'm talking about, because we can assume that the reader is intelligent but doesn't necessarily know what's going on here. Next, I'm going to summarize that article that we based the whole single source essay on, and I'm going to review that. I'm going to include quotes with citations where the quote came from, the article, and so forth. And then that's going to indicate this action that was taken. And then do I disagree or agree with the action taken by that prime minister? And why specifically? And then the conclusion. Now, for this single source essay, I need to just fill in a little bit of this, and I'm going to do that for you, and I'll be right back. Here it is. This is all that's required for the single source essay. First, the first sentence is a first-person statement about what my interest is, what caught my attention in this article. Next is a statement about the issue, one sentence. Next is the thesis statement. For this thesis statement, I wrote, using a small detail in France's constitution, President Emmanuel Macron plans to push through a controversial pension law without a vote. What's missing in that? You know, something's missing in that, y'all. You know what's missing is any kind of date reference. So let me go back and fix this. This is much better. I went back to the original article and I put in the date reference, because if somebody reads this in 2025, they won't know what I'm talking about for it, because this is a current news event, current for this time. Next paragraph, 7 or 8 sentences that describe this issue, using quotes from the article, making sure that I cite those quotes. There's a page in the study documents for this week called How to Cite Sources in an Essay. So we want to make sure that the citations are correct when we quote that article. Next paragraph, 7 or 8 sentences, what position is the Prime Minister taking? And then the next paragraph, 7 or 8 sentences, do I agree or disagree with that action and position, and why? And then my conclusion. Some people like to just put conclusion and hope for the best. That never has worked out for me or anybody I know. So the conclusion needs to contain 4 basic sentences. It may stretch into 5 sentences. You may need 2 sentences for one particular aspect of the conclusion. But the conclusion starts with a restatement, not the exact copied statement. So when you write about why am I interested in this article, go ahead and write out a little paragraph to yourself. And part of that's going to be your introduction, and part of that reason is going to be in your conclusion. Next is a summary of the issue of that article in different words. Then, in different words, Macron's decision to use that little part of their constitution is positive or negative because of what you researched. And then end with a profound quote by somebody about people's rights or whatever you want to do. And that's it. That's the entire thing. Now what we want to do is make sure that our works cited is done correctly. For this single source essay, we have the primary article that we read, and I have a definition article that went more into what this article that he's using to bypass a vote to get this initiative through. When I'm through, I'm going to export all, and now you have a choice. You can export that as either a Word document or as a Google Doc. Let's go ahead for just this demonstration and do this as a Word document. Now that little document shows up right down here. I click on that and there it is. It's all double spaced. It's all perfectly formatted. I have enabled editing just in case I need to do anything to make anything more clear. But you can see when I shorten that title and made it, you know, so it's not the whole length of a citation, the reader can see the author, see the title, and they can go to this URL if they need to. Remember, no live URLs in a works cited. So we want to make sure that we have removed any and all hyperlinks in the works cited. It should look exactly like this. No blue hyperlinks. And there we go. That is it for those folks who want to use Strategy 2, which is to go to Google and look at news articles and see what strikes your fancy and follow through with that and find a controversial article that has 2 sides, and then you can kind of decide which position you think is better.